Hello everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel, welcome back to another episode. You're joining me today in the park near my offices. I decided to get out for a stomp because the sun is shining. How amazing is it when we get to spring and we're about to go towards the summertime and the sun's shining. It lifts your mood, you feel so much better for it. Now, thank you so much to everyone that's been watching the YouTube videos. The people that are subscribing to my channel is hugely appreciated. We've done lots of different videos recently. We've talked about skin, we've talked about mental health, we've talked about gut health, and we've got lots more content to come in that field. Now, today's video is going to be all focused on why I've left A&E. Now, I've hinted towards it a little bit on my socials, but I haven't really discussed it that much as to why I've made that decision. And I thought, let's do a video, let's address that, let's talk about it and explain what's going on, what I'm up to, and what direction we're going in. And I thought, what better way to do this than to get outside. Holly's behind the camera. Holly, how are you?
Very good.
Always good to check in on Holly. She's got a lovely green floral dress. I would tell her to show, but I don't think she would want to show her dress.
I'm definitely not going to do that.
She likes to be behind the camera. Now, we're going to go for a walk, go for a stomp and talk about this. Before we do, actually, I should remind everyone, I've launched the Dr. Alex Your Weekly Prescription newsletter. We've got loads of people subscribing to it now and enjoying it, which is really great. Thank you to everyone that has subscribed. If you haven't, hit the link down below. It's positivity in your inbox every Monday, tips of health, wellness advice. I think it's a nice little way to read something positive in the morning. And of course, as well, exclusive discounts and stuff on prescribed products. And also we're doing giveaways every month as well. So do please subscribe. Should we wander, Hols?
Let's go.
Let's go. So, we're talking about why I left A&E. Let's go back to the kind of start, I guess, about why I joined and started even being an A&E doctor. So, when I was younger, I saw a lot of the kind of action that was on TV in terms of A&E, doctors running to treat patients that have had car accidents or heart attacks that are critically unwell, and I was really excited by that idea that you can use your communication skills, your skill set in general, to treat people and work in a team, really, in an adrenaline-based environment. I loved that idea. Never really thought that being an A&E doctor would mean mental health or mental illness, but actually since I've worked at King's first in 2015 and especially working in Lewisham Hospital from 2016 onwards, I've been amazed about how much mental illness we do actually see on a day-to-day basis. I would say, from my experience, 1 in 3 patients I've seen are either directly because of mental illness or because of a result of that. And the reason I say that is because if you think about it, sometimes the physical presentation of something has a mental illness underlying. So that person that comes in with a heart attack, crushing chest pain, they've got a heart attack, you go, oh, that's a physical problem. But when you dig down, that patient's had diabetes for many years, and when you dig even deeper down, you find out that patient has had overeating and binge eating because of dealing with stress, dealing with different things in their lives and struggles with a mental illness. Now, I'm not saying that everyone with a heart attack has a mental illness, but my point there is we shouldn't automatically assume that because someone has a physical presentation that there isn't something deeper going on in terms of the mental health. So I learned so much about that, and particularly on the front line. It was fascinating and very sad to see how much mental health we were seeing in the hospital compared to what you'd expect as an A&E doctor. Now, of course, with the work that I'm doing, I'm youth mental health ambassador, going on to schools, universities and things, as well as, of course, having to run my own business, because ultimately, and I think sometimes people forget this a little bit, that I volunteer in this role. And for me to be successful in this role, I need a whole team of people to help. Holly behind the camera to help make the content of things that go out around Mental Health Awareness Week, Abby to help organise going to the schools and all the things we're doing. This team needs paying for. And so I need to make sure I balance my time between doing the kind of brand deals and the partnerships, Prescrib'd and things which pays the bills, and also going out there and doing the thing that I care about, because ultimately those things allow me the luxury, and I believe it is a luxury and a privilege, to be able to volunteer and spend as much time as I do travelling and seeing people. Now, the thing that happened that basically, so getting on to why I decided to leave the A&E, the first thing I'll say is it wasn't an easy decision. I love Lewisham Hospital. I love being an A&E doctor. It's something that I trained all my life to be. But I basically got to the point where I was burning out, and this was kind of last summer. So I'd taken on the role as Youth Mental Health Ambassador a year ago. I'd been flat out in the campaigning and things I was doing with that, the volunteering, making sure I was running the business, all the other things that were going on. And I was also working in A&E. And to be honest, I was burning out. And I don't think it's very good for a youth mental health ambassador to allow themselves to burn out and not maybe look after themselves if you're promoting good health, okay? So I made the decision, the difficult decision, that something has to give. I I have to make a decision here. Either I continue with my mental health campaigning and I work in my role and I leave A&E, or I have to drop that work and just stick with medicine and stick with the pure hospital work. I made the decision, look, I need to do this. And it was scary, if I'm completely honest. It's scary leaving something you know, because when I left Love Island, I went back to the hospital because that is what I knew. And now I'm putting myself in a position where I'm so out of my comfort zone, and I'm entering a world where I don't have guaranteed pay. I have to think month to month of what's going on. I have to basically leave everything that I know. But deep down, and I know in my heart, when I get up each morning, the thing I'm most excited about is this. And when you saw that video in Ireland visiting those schools, that to me was like, I can't even explain how that was for my soul. And I said it to the whole team, and I know, Holly, you agree with this. It was just the most amazing feeling. You're seeing these young people who are talking about mental health. They've got emotional literacy. The way that they cared so much about not only their own mental health, but the children, the students around them, the teachers. It was so inspiring, and that is what makes me tick. And so, yes, leaving last summer, leaving A&E and going, I'm no longer going to be an A&E doctor, was incredibly tough. But I don't regret it at all, and that's because I've now been able to look after myself better. I'm not burning out anymore, and I'm able to put my effort into this space and achieve what I want to achieve. So people might ask, well, what is your goal now? What's the plan? Well, my number one goal and my priority is what's written on the top of our board, Holly, in the office. What's written?
Support hubs.
Support hubs.
Yeah.
We want to get early support hubs funded in this country so that young people have a place to go. They don't have to wait a long time. They can get referred, get the mental health support that they deserve without having huge waiting times, and making an environment that people feel comfortable to talk about their own mental health. And it's my firm belief that it is our responsibility as the older generations to make an environment that is more open, that's safer, that is positive around mental health for young people. And so we need to get funding for these early support hubs. I've written to the Prime Minister. When this video goes out, I'm going to be meeting the Prime Minister to talk about this and really kind of get home, I hope, the message of how exciting this opportunity is, that we can actually really influence and directly support young people, not only the ones that are struggling, but creating this positive space for well-being. Now, what happens if the government doesn't decide to fund at this point? We'll see. But I'll tell you this, I'm not going to give up, and I am absolutely relentless on this kind of mission, if you like, to get early support hubs across the whole country. So safe spaces that people can go, get the support they need at the point that they need it. It's so sad to me, and it really shocks me that certain, not too far from here actually, waiting lists for children's mental health services are 2 years. 2 years. If someone has a suspected cancer, there's a 2-week wait. 2 weeks to see that patient, to make a treatment plan, to get going. 2 weeks, right? Why are young people waiting 2 years to get the mental health support they need? Bearing in mind, for under 40-year-olds, the number one cause of death is suicide. So think about that. Why are we making people wait 2 years? Things have to change. And so that is my focus, and that is my role and my focus in there. Outside of that, it's obviously continuing to run my content platforms. I'm growing my YouTube channel, TikTok and Instagram, and using those as vehicles for my campaigns, vehicles for destigmatizing. Obviously, I need to run a business as well, so I pay the bills, with everything, and so we work with brand partnerships. And I think, I think the post I'm going to put out around this time is going to talk a little bit around advertising. So you see hashtag ad on my platform. Ultimately, it's so important that as influencers we're transparent about when we're working with brands, and that's why you'll notice I'll always put ad in front of any times I work with brands. And people go, well, why do you do that? Well, the reason is, ultimately, I'm not paid to post on Instagram. YouTube makes, I think, about 70 quid a month, doesn't it, on our channel? It's not a lot of money. It surprises people. Things like the podcast, producing a podcast, making a podcast is very expensive, and so ultimately you've got to find cash somewhere to fund it. And I'm very, very fortunate to work with amazing brands. I only work with brands that believe in their products. I say no to 90%. I don't do standing on stages pouring alcohol in people's mouths for money. It's doing things that I enjoy and I care about. People like working with Fitbit and so on. These are brands that I enjoy, that I believe in, right? So essentially you will continue to see advertisement on my platform. It's something that I need to do to fund everything else. And ultimately I hope that as we continue to grow the platform, it's unbelievable to think that Instagram's up to 2 million, that community is 2 million. that I think we can be more and more transparent about things. I think that's so important. I think wider than that, I think Instagram needs to be a place where people are confident to post their bodies how it is, if they want to post their bodies, and are happy to show the ups and downs in life. And you know, I'm a big believer, and I hope that I can continue doing that on this channel, as well as doing it across Instagram and other platforms as well. Aside from that, you'll see that I've obviously written my first book, Live Well Every Day. We have exciting news coming very, very soon, which I'm really, really looking forward to sharing with you guys in that field as well. So guys, I hope this has been a useful video. It's been a very short walk. We've got outside, we've got a bit of fresh air. If you're watching this video and you haven't been outside today, please go for a stomp. Get outside and have a little walk, enjoy the fresh air and make the most of it. And yeah, I hope that you can kind of understand and see why I made the decision. I don't know, will I go back to A&E? I'm not sure. But right now, I've got a public mental health masters to start in September, and you know, my focus on the campaigning has got to be my #1 goal. Anyway, lots of love. Do subscribe to the newsletter if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel, tell your friends and things, and let me know what content you would like. Take care and goodbye.